Right, what is up everyone? I hope you're all good. Now if you've watched my recent video on the update of all my aquariums, you'll have seen this tank in that. Now, while looking back through the video footage, that's what I'm doing at the moment, is editing. While looking back through the footage, I realised how much that blank space on the right hand side was annoying me. You can sort of see it there. It was annoying me. So I thought, what's the quickest way of fixing it? It did have crypt balance there, which is the tall crypt. There's still a few sprigs of it there, but not much. So I thought the coolest way of filling it in was just to get a couple of bits of bogwood, tie a few plants to it, and like fill that gap in with a piece of bogwood. Because this tank is probably getting to the point where I want to strip it down, but I don't want to obviously plant anything that's going to take ages to settle and grow, whereas epiphytes tied to bogwood are going to look good pretty much instantly. So yeah, this is the gap we're talking about here. It's not bad. It's just got the heater and stuff. The filter outlet is back there as well. Move this stupid water lettuce. Oh, that was mucky. Yeah, so yeah, I'm thinking behind this rock, you can still see the balance. What on earth is that? Oh, that's a root from the pothos. That's fine. Let's move him as well. But yeah, you can still see the gap. Now I'm thinking if I can just piece of bogwood like that with a few plants on it, will be perfect. Now first, we're going to need to find some bogwood. Now I've got some pieces upstairs, so let's go and have a browse through. What do you reckon? Just over the size of my hand? Yeah, I think so. Let's go and have a look. Right, so up in the fish room, we've got these bits, but I quite like them. They're quite structural. Obviously, this is going to, whoops, this is going to be mostly hidden by epiphytes. So yeah, they're really structured. Obviously, because it's going to be hidden by epiphytes, there's no point in wasting a cool bit of wood like that when we could use something that's a bit more boring as such. Excuse the mess, because I am a bit of an untidy fish keeper at the moment. We've got that big bit, but like I say, I don't want to use that. That's another twiggy bit. The new scape's doing well. Actually, I'm going to do a video on that. Can you see the white fungus on that wood? I'm going to do a video on that, because that's a question that used to get asked quite a lot. So watch out in the future for that. Again, I just want to give every question an answer on my channel, so that you guys don't have to worry and you've got loads of info that helps you sort of get free fish keeping. What have we got in here? These might work. These aren't too exciting. Yeah. I reckon a couple of those ones will be perfect. Hang on, let's get them out. Right, so I've got 4 bits in that tank. This one, this one is really light. It's going to take ages to sink. So he's out of the question. That one, it's obviously already been in an aquarium. That one's quite a chunk, so that one would be a good bit, I reckon. That bit? No, he's quite structury. I quite like him. Structury? No, he's going back as well. We'll keep them too. These two, on the other hand, though, there's nothing too exciting about them. He's about the right size as well. I reckon that one's about the right size to go in the back. Maybe we can attach them to make it taller. Okay, let's see if we can attach these two together. No, let's take them back downstairs and see if they fit in the tank. Yeah, so I reckon we've got that bit. That's too small. That's definitely too small. Like, if you look at that up against that tank, it's not going to be big enough. But that's sat in behind. Just wondering if we could attach those two together somehow. And maybe create something a bit taller. Maybe? Yeah, let's see if we can attach these two together. Won't take long. And a little bit of glue, and I think that'll work. Right. Yeah, nothing too exciting about these 2 bits of wood. But obviously, like I say, we're going to cover the whole, pretty much the whole thing in epiphyte. So you're not going to be able to see the wood. I think it does need that height, so it does sort of slot together like so. You can see in the back there, it sort of fits together quite nicely. So if we can get that glued and locked in place... Oh, I forgot to bring in... Nope, I've got some tissue. It's fine. That sounds really weird without context. So we have got cyanoacrylate glue, which is going to glue these 2 bits together. And what we're going to do is we're going to pop a bit of tissue in there. And what the tissue will do is it just goes off like rock between the 2 bits of wood. So yeah, somewhere down in there, we're going to try and glue it together. Let's see how we get on. Right, I'm using one of my pendant lights to give you a bit more lighting. So what we're going to do, where these 2 join back here, we're just going to rip up a load of this tissue paper, roll it into balls, and then push it down inside there. My fingers can't get in there. Got a pair of tweezers here. Ah, there we go. Like I say, once that's got glue on it, in a second, that'll go off like rock. And then all we need is our cyanoacrylate glue. Now, sometimes it works better if you use the liquid version when you're using tissue paper, but both normally work. And all I'm going to do is put a load of that glue in there. Soak the whole bit of tissue in the glue. Like I say, the liquid works better on tissue paper sometimes, but this will still go off solid. Move it around a bit. I don't know if I can get to the underneath of it. No, I can't really get to the underneath of it. But that'll work fine. That'll go off in a minute. You can get an accelerant, but I just normally wait for the glue to go off. That should sit. The nice thing is that wood holds itself like that. Right, let's get another couple of points glued so it's solid. Right, so we're giving it 5 minutes to sort of cure, and it has gone off. I probably wouldn't slam it on the floor, but it is fairly solid. That just gives us a bit more height now to get some more plants on there. Now, this is probably the easiest way to get height into your aquarium, because like I say, a piece of bogwood like that, 3 or 4 epiphytes down it, and you're done, and it gives you real good height. A bit like I've done in the chili raspberry tank with those Java ferns, just sort of lifted the tank up. Anyway, we need to look at some plants for this piece of wood. Right, so that's our structure done. Let's get that out the way. I have nowhere safe to put this. If I open up another shelf, right, he can go over there. Right, next up is plants. So we're gonna have a look at a load of epiphytes. So I'm thinking a couple of Anubiases, oh, maybe 3 Anubiases actually. I've got a small one as well. Java Fern, yeah, I reckon we can get a Java Fern on there, can't we? And then we've got a couple of Buces left over from the chili raspberry tank. We've also got some Bolbitis as well, which is another type of fern from Africa. And then lastly, we've got the stem plant that I never do very well with, Hygrophila pinnata feeder. Well, that is going to cover that bogwood, and I don't think you're going to see any of the wood left over. So massive shout out to Aquafleur. Obviously, they supply all the local shops to me with plants. So they've always got really decent full pots like that. And Nana is just lovely. Look at those new leaves coming through. Really nice. Right. Do I unpot all of these and try get them all on? Yeah, do you know what? Why not? Let's unpot them all and see if we can fit them all on this piece of wood. Now, you've probably seen me do it 100 times, but all we're doing is we're going to give the pot a quick squeeze, get the main plant out. Then we've got all of this rock wool on here. That's just got to be peeled off and gotten rid of. As simple as that. Obviously, I'll try and pick off all of these little bits. It's quite useful sometimes if you get like a fork and you can just comb through the plant and get rid of all of that excess rock wool. We've got to now clean off all of these plants, get all of that rock wool off, get them all out the pots, get them ready for planting. Look at that. So all the epiphytes are pretty much clean. There's a little bit of sort of a bit of rock wool on some of them, but it's not the end of the world because it's going into that big mature tank. It's not going to matter too much, to be honest. Like I say, epiphytes are really good because they are generally solid. They are robust plants. They're really tough. They don't require a lot of love and a lot of nutrients. The only one I don't always get on with is this, which, like I say, is Hygrophila pinnata feeder, I think. The only reason, yeah, I just don't get on with it sometimes. It doesn't always work out for me. Weirdly, we've tried it recently down in MD's studio, and we've tried it on like a couple of really basic low-tech tanks, like hardly any lighting, and it's done really well. So yeah, not sure, don't know what's going on, but we'll give it a try in this tank. We'll see how I get on. Normally I don't get on very well with it, but we've done so well with it in 2 or 3 tanks now, I feel like we should try it. So we're going to use a couple of different methods. Let's get these out of the way. Use a couple of different methods to tie and sort of get these stuck to that wood. One is obviously the glue that you've already seen me use, gluing the rock to wood together. The other one, oh, that's messy. Do I have a cloth? Yes. Wonderful. There we go. Lovely. What was I saying? One is glue. One is zip ties. Where's my zip ties gone? Or cable ties. Loads of people in the comments last time were like, why have you cut the bag in the middle? The reason I cut the bag in the middle is so they don't fall... Oh. Okay, so most of the time they don't fall out. It's because I've put these smaller ones in there. But the reason, like I say, is so that you can normally do this. And if you cut the top, they just all fall out. Whereas this, you can pull them out of the middle and they don't fall out. Anyway, enough about bags and zip ties. Cable ties, whatever you want to call them. I've got some of these brown ones. So they tie in and they blend in. Where's my piece of wood? they blend in with the wood really nicely. There are loads of other ways you can sort of get them stuck to it. Things like cotton and fishing line and things like that. The only thing I worry about with those is fish getting stuck in them and a lot of string. Whereas obviously if this is just one loop, in theory the fish shouldn't get stuck in them. Right, so I think that's how it's going to sit like that. I could do with something to prop it up. Maybe I can use one of these rocks just to sort of hold it up while I'm working on it. Lovely. So that's the sort of angle we're going for. Now I think we're going to start off with Java Fern at the bottom. Where's my Java Fern? There we go. So we're going to place that one right at the bottom down here, just to give a bit of cover down here. So I'm going to zip tie this one. So all I'm going to do is thread this zip tie through here, through the middle of the plant, like so. That will then give me the chance to just pop it and zip tie it. Oh, baby Java Fern. That will give me a chance to just pop it around the bottom of this wood and seal it on. Now as I'm tightening it up, I'm sort of moving some of the leaves out of the way so that it sort of tightens around the leaves and not crushes any of them, sort of thing. You don't have to have it mega tight, but just so it holds on to the wood is perfect. Oh, I've got another one. I've got a couple of little ends. We'll keep them to one side for the minute. We might end up using them. So that's the first plant, zip tied to our piece of wood. Obviously, eventually, give it time, that will root on and grow. Next, I want to keep all the bigger ones at the bottom. So I'm thinking now, this sort of big Anubias down in here, so it can grow with it. Now, I'm not sure. I might be able to zip tie this around this bottom bit here, I reckon. Yeah, see, that one's all zip tied on lovely. And you won't be able to see that once it's in the tank. And once I obviously cut off the dangly bit. But yeah, I think the Anubias is going to go on the other side. And I reckon I can zip tie that round the other little nubbin. Let's do that one quickly. Again, not too tight, but just going to hold that plant in place underneath. That's looking quite nice already. I'm liking that. Proper jungle vibes going on. Right, so that's those two on. Next, we're moving down in size, I suppose. So I reckon we need to mix it up. We'll put some of the Anubias on this side. Now this one I might need to glue. Definitely going to have to glue the smaller ones up the top. But this one, oh no, there's a little loop there. I'm going to keep going with zip ties because glue takes ages to go off anyway. So if I can zip tie the good majority of the small one, or the larger ones at the bottom, then as I get to the top, I can use the glue to do the other ones. Oh, this one's very dense. Like I say, these aquaflora plants are mad because they're so like well planted. Getting a zip tie through the middle of this one's quite tricky because of the amount of leaves. Somewhere in there maybe? I think there's two. Oh yeah, there's multiple stems left. That's why I can't get it through. Ah, there we go. We are through. So I'm going to try and attach that one sort of down here somewhere. I might have to angle it. I know that's going to work. So they are obviously all going to compete with each other for space and for light and stuff. But again, I'm not overly worried because it's sort of, it's a quick thing to do. And I'll be honest, really quite inexpensive. You know, 5 or 6 plants, one bit of wood. You know, if you had a smaller tank, it's going to fill it. Right, so next up I think we're going to go for the Bolbitis. Now this one I think we're going to have to glue because there is now no places to run a zip tie round, I don't believe. So he is going to glue in there. We've then got the smaller Anubias, I think, to come in here. And then the Bucephalandra and the high grade. Yeah, lovely. Yeah, so it's going to be easier to plant this. Now, I have noticed that there's actually a little sort of gap in the centre here. And I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to just literally sit him and nestle him in that gap. Oh, yeah, he's locked in place there. What are we thinking? Looking good? Okay. Last 2. 3. So next up we've got the little Anubias Nana bonsai. Now I'm thinking because that one he's going to go there, I think. That'll look nice there. So I'm going to have to pop a bit of glue on this one to get it glued on. Oh, I don't want to do the whole thing. So we'll put this, there's a little like sort of shaped twig V bit here. So I'm hoping that I can just wedge him and sit him, hold him for a couple of seconds. Yes, lovely. So he's now on there. Why not use every single plant that I've got? Now the last true epiphyte, well, I say true epiphyte, is the Bucephalandra. So I'm going to wedge up in there. I'm just going to sort of spot glue it to hold it in place. I think that'll work perfectly. There we go, a bit of glue on either side. Pop that one in. Eventually that will go off and hold that in place. It's looking cool. Obviously it's all got to settle in a little bit and all grow up a little bit, but I'm really liking how that looks already. Then it's just the Hygrophila, the stem plant, and I think I'm going to put that in behind to act as a backdrop. Right, so this is the back of the piece of wood now. What I'm going to do is wedge that rock back in there to hold it up. Now these are the stem plants, the Hygrophila, that I don't normally do too well with, and what I'm thinking here is these are just going to sort of tuck into all these crevices behind here. There's one there, look. And then they're all going to just grow up from behind and sort of backdrop this. So again, a bit of spot gluing, but nothing too major. There we go, looking cool. Java ferns, Anubias, Bolbitis, really simple and easy. And eventually all these will root onto it. So I'm going to let the glue dry for 5-10 minutes, let them settle. I'll keep them sprayed so they keep damp, and then we'll get it in the tank and see what it looks like in the tank. But yeah, really simple, really quick, probably taking 25 minutes, if that. We are back downstairs. We are ready to put it in the tank. It is all it's not grown in. In the 5 minutes it's taken me to walk from upstairs to downstairs, it hasn't grown in. It's glued. Look at that. So yeah, all sealed, all glued. I've cut all the zip ties back so that they're all like nice and sharp to catch my irons on. But yeah, it's just going to go into this sort of corner here. So let's move everything out the way a minute. Let's see if we can situate it where we want it. Excuse boys. Right, we're going back into this corner. I can't see what that looks like because I've had to do that blind, but ooh, needs to twist a little bit. This bit of wood's in the way a little bit. Right, I need to get some rocks behind it. Hang on, I'll be back. If I'm being honest with you, I had to leave it a day. Putting that bit of bogwood in that back of that tank, well, it murked up the water a little bit. There was a pocket of fish poo back there that I disturbed, that I've obviously missed. And yeah, so it's now tomorrow. No. Yeah, from where I was, it's now tomorrow. And it's looking cool. I've watched Emperor Tetras go in amongst it and like just show off to each other. The festives are going in and out of it. Anyway, let me show you how it looks. I'm so happy with how it's come out. Here you go, old planting, old planting, old planting. New bit of bogwood and a festive cichlid. Get out of the way. Yeah, so that is looking good. Look how it just fills in that area, look. And you can see now this gap. I think I'm going to make another one. But yeah, how cool is that? Just literally like fills in that gap. All really easy plants to grow. The Hygrophila hasn't died yet, so that's cool. I'm good with that. What are you doing? Get out. Yeah, it's really cool. I'm really chuffed with how it's come out. Hope this has made it easy for you to maybe think about doing some epiphytes and zip tying them or gluing them or whatever. It's just such a simple way of scaping your tank and making it look full, you know. They're all small plants that would only be this high normally, but because we've attached them to that rock, or to the wood, sorry, not to the rock, it's filled the tank up instantly, which is amazing. Like, yeah, really simple way of scaping. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one. I've got to edit that video and get it released, because otherwise, yeah, I won't release a video in like 4 weeks. So, see you in the next one. Bye!